You're not losing your focus because of dopamine itself. You're losing it because you're getting dopamine too fast, too easily, too often. Think about it: social media, reels, TikTok, endless scrolling. They're cheap stimuli that hijack your reward system. Study motivation isn't failing because you're lazy. It's because you've trained your brain to expect quick hits, constant rewards. Dopamine isn't your enemy. Neuroscience tells us it's simply a compass guiding your attention. But when dopamine is tied to effortless actions, your brain loses the craving for depth. Dopamine doesn't refresh your mind. It reprograms your attention span. Let's break this down together, step by step, and understand deeply how this impacts your mental health, time management, and overall self-improvement. Your brain is a pattern recognition engine, a system built on reward and expectation. But today's environment overwhelms that system. We get high-frequency, low-effort rewards all day long. Every ping, every notification, every swipe. It rewires the brain. Instead of effort, reward, we now expect reward instantly. Neuropsychology explains this as a shift in the baseline. What once felt pleasurable now feels neutral. And what once felt neutral now feels unbearable. The result? You can't sit through a work session without checking your phone. You can't focus for 25 minutes without craving a hit. The system is flooded. And like any flooded circuit, it starts to short. This is dopamine chaos, where your reward architecture no longer maps to reality. You crave novelty, not meaning. Quantity, not depth. And that trade, novelty over meaning, is killing your ability to focus, to reflect, and to build. Let's get honest. Procrastination isn't a time management issue, it's a dopamine issue. When you open a blank page, your brain says, "Where's my quick reward?" When it doesn't get it, it shifts somewhere, to Discord, to TikTok. This isn't laziness, it's neuroadaptation. Symptoms? Procrastination as default. You put things off, not because they're hard, but because they're not instantly rewarding. Impatience. If it takes more than 5 seconds, you're irritated. Inability to be still. Silence becomes unbearable. Information bulimia. You consume, but never digest. Mental fatigue. You're tired all day, even when you've done nothing. And the worst part? You begin to mistake stimulation for progress. Your nervous system is flooded, but your identity is empty. You don't know who you are without the next input. That's the paradox of modern self-improvement. We optimize for hacks, but forget how to feel. Let's clear the air. Dopamine detox isn't about monk mode minimalism. It's not about punishing yourself. It's not about living without joy. It's about resetting your reward system. Neuroscience 101. The brain adapts to the frequency and intensity of its inputs. If you're constantly stimulated, your baseline for pleasure rises. This is called hedonic adaptation. Dopamine detox is the deliberate lowering of input frequency, so the system can recalibrate. What does that look like? Not removing joy, but restoring sensitivity. Not rejecting technology, but controlling when and how it enters. Not punishing the self, but training it to feel again. Dopamine detox is a tool of personal development, not deprivation. It teaches your brain that meaning can emerge from silence. That satisfaction can be earned, not scrolled. That what matters most is often quiet and slow and deep. So how do you reset? You don't need to delete everything. You don't need to move to a cabin in the woods. You need structure. You need rituals. You need space. First, environment design. Set up your context like an architect, not like an addict. Remove visible triggers. Use grayscale on your phone. Dedicate a space that tells your body, here we go deep. This is not motivation. This is system building. Second, rituals over willpower. Schedule periods of sensory quiet. Morning walks without headphones, cold showers, breath work, 10-minute stillness windows. These aren't habits. These are anchors for your nervous system. They create micro deficits that train your brain to delay gratification. And in doing so, they begin to restore your ability to feel. Third, dopamine from depth. Choose one activity per day that feels difficult but meaningful. It can be journaling, long-form reading, deep work. The key? Don't multitask. Don't chase tabs. Just sit. Feel the resistance. And do it anyway. This is how you build self-discipline motivation. This is how you learn how to build habits that last beyond hype. Because the real reward isn't the thing, it's the self who did the thing. Here's the truth, as simple as I can say it. You're not tired from work. You're tired from fragmentation. Your attention is shredded into pixels. Your nervous system is stuck in a loop of seeking, clicking, switching. And dopamine isn't the villain. It's just been trained to follow noise, not value. When you untrain that, you recover something rare. Stillness. Direction. Peace. Your calendar doesn't need more blocks. Your life needs more presence. Self-improvement isn't about productivity. It's about reclaiming agency over your biology, your behavior, your attention. When you reset dopamine, you reset direction. You move from reacting to designing, from craving to creating, from fragmentation to focus. And in that state of clarity, of internal alignment, you don't just optimize your mental health. You begin to feel like you again. Thanks for staying with us this far. If this video gave you something useful, feel free to like it. If you want more like this, subscribe. And if someone came to mind while watching, send it their way.